It's done. A year and 3 months is what it took, but it's done. And I've heard a lot of people say that there's a sadness that comes with that. I haven't had any. And that alone is sad, but at the same time, it's no, it's not. There's a reason I had that experience in my life, and it was because I needed to learn my worth. I'm just a slow learner, I guess. But I haven't had any sadness. I've just had a weight lifted. And the reason this divorce took this long was because I had lessons I had to learn. And that was just not to just give in, that I deserved more. And so the more he fought, and it finally dawned on me, it was like, the more he fought me, the worse his life got. And that's just the parts of it that I know. It could have been way less expensive for him to settle in mediation, but it all went in my favor, and I ended up getting way more than I ever thought I would have. So there was a reason it took that long. And it was because the universe was going, you know what? No, no, you're not settling for that. But more than that, it was the universe saying, you know what? You need to find your voice and you need to stand up and you need to find your power. And I had given up so much power for so long, I didn't know what it was like to have it anymore. So we ended up at a full court trial, 8.5 hours, arguing over what's this worth and what's that worth. There's no kids involved. There's no custody. There's no nothing. It was just, how much does he owe me? That's it. So it was, what's this cost? What's that cost? Okay, you want to argue about that? Fine. Put a number on it. I don't care. Well, how'd you come to these numbers? I came to those numbers by researching them. Or I have the receipts. One of the two. You know, well, isn't your car worth $17,000? I'm like, no, my loan is $17,000. My car is worth $8,000. Well, didn't you turn in a community property vehicle to buy that car? I'm like, yes, I did. Because I was being stalked and I needed to get something he didn't recognize. And at the end of the day, it finally occurred to me that the reason it took this long and the reason I had to do that court trial was because nobody got me there but me. Nobody. Over the last year and a half, I've had a lot of people that have helped me, but nobody did anything for me. I did it myself. I went and found that strength myself. And it's like, the more I look into it, the more that it's like, I've had some seriously difficult situations in my life, and each one gave me a little more strength and a little more strength. To the point that by the time I left, I had stayed so long, way past the time I should have left. So yeah, I don't have any remorse. I feel nothing but happiness and less burdened. That's it. I feel nothing else. But I stayed that long because I had to learn my worth. It wasn't about anything else. And I had to learn that things don't matter because everything I had was always held over my head like, you don't make enough to have that, you know. You don't deserve that. So now I can look back and go, you know what? Every single thing I have right now, I've paid for myself. And nobody can take that away from me. Nobody. And that makes me happy. So that was one of the things I needed to learn. And the other thing was I needed to have that court trial. Because walking in there, looking better than I've looked in a very long time, and looking his lawyer in the face and responding to his questions, the sense of power I got from that, I needed that boost because I didn't know I could do it. And I didn't, say anything that wasn't true, obviously. But hearing myself say it gave me strength. I needed that. And that's one of the reasons that it took that long was because I had to go through that, because there's no other way I would have learned that lesson. There's no other way I would have learned that I had the strength to be on my own unless I was on my own, paying my own way or figuring out how to pay my own way. And just learning the lesson that I can do it. And that at the end of the day, no one can take credit for that except for me. I can't. And it wouldn't even be that someone else would take credit for it. It's that I would give someone else credit for it. Because that's how I was. And I can look back now and I can go, you know what? Every single hard thing I've been through was to get me here. It just kept getting worse until I figured out that I was in a place I was not supposed to be. I was never supposed to stay there that long because I didn't deserve any of it. But I grew up thinking, you said a vow, you picked him, that's where you stay, right? Until you figure out that, no, that's not how it works. There's no way I could have ever made that better because, if you don't choose to make it better, then it's not going to get better. And I couldn't do it all by myself. So I don't feel remorse. I don't feel sadness. I don't feel anything other than lighter and hopeful. And I'm looking forward to a life where I can just go forward and be done with it and not have to worry about where my next legal bill is going to come from, where I'm going to find the money to pay it. It's done. So I think it might take me a minute to figure out that it is really done, because God knows it should have been done before now, but I think I can go from here and take the lessons that I've learned and have a whole new life. And I think that was the point. Because going through that, there's no other way I would have learned those lessons. Every single thing that's happened to me in the last year and a half happened for a reason. And it was to get me to figure out what I will and will not put up with, and what I deserve and what I don't deserve. And I'm so much happier for it. I don't regret any of it. I don't regret being in that marriage that long. Was it torture? Yeah. I mean, there was good times as well, but it was never easy. It never just went easy by any means. But I learned. I learned that I have a say, that I don't have to give my power away. And it never should have been that way to begin with. So for people that are going through it, I just want to say this. You may not feel sad. And don't you dare feel guilty for that. Because there's a reason. In my case, I got over it a long, long time ago. But I'm out and I'm happy and I don't regret any of it. And I'm not going to let the past bother me. And I'm not going to sit there and dwell on how long I stayed. I don't care. I've learned the lessons I needed to learn. There was a reason that is how my life went. Absolutely. Even the cancer, twice. I learned that I can get through it. And it may not be easy, but I can get through it. And sometimes you have to learn really hard lessons to figure out how much strength you actually have. So it's only up from here. And I don't regret it. And I'm just going to make the best of what I got going forward. And that's what it's all about. It's not about yesterday. It's about tomorrow. You can make tomorrow whatever you want it to be.